Welcome back to the Lachey Johnson's podcast. My name is Lachey Johnson, and today you will get me where I will provide a wellness update. And then there's some times where I will invite a guest to share with me how they are living, loving their lives, and just being in the purpose. And so today I wanted to give a wellness update, and I have quite a few things that I want to share with you all. And so before I get started, if this is your first time listening to me on Spotify or Apple, or your first time watching me on YouTube, I want to say welcome. I'm so glad that you found me. Now, if you like what you hear, which I got a funny feeling that you're going to like what you hear, then I want you to subscribe to my podcast. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want you to turn on your notifications so you don't miss when I upload every Monday at 12 o'clock. Sometimes it may be a vlog from me, or it just may be a sit down with myself talking about where I am and how life is treating me, or it may be a sit down with a friend. Either way, I am posting every Monday at 12 o'clock on my YouTube channel and twice a month on my podcast, the Lachey Johnson podcast. So you don't want to miss it. And then I want to also encourage you to not keep it to yourself, but share it with a friend, a family member, or maybe even a coworker. Now, let's go ahead and get started. I want to share with you what it is like to navigate life when you're focusing on your wellness, your health, and your finances, all while you have other tops that are spinning. And so for those of you who can see me, I was getting ready to take my hand like this and start to spin the plates on both hands. But if you know what it's like to navigate life on life's terms, I just want to encourage you that God is not caught by surprise to where you are, and he already knows how to keep you on course if, let's pause for a moment, if we listen to the spirit that's on the inside of us. So I want to start off first by sharing that I'm currently doing a devotional along with a group of women around the world, She Reads Truth, where women are in the Bible every single day. And I absolutely love that because I take that content and then I share it and pay it forward with the ladies that I'm in a circle with. And the next few weeks, we are actually in the book of Corinthians 1 and 2, Corinthians 1 and Corinthians 2. And most recently, I was reading where it talks about Christ being our firm foundation. And what I walked away with is that Paul laid the foundation, and we as believers are called to carefully build upon it. But at the end of the day, Jesus Christ is our foundation. And that alone helps me to feel secure and helps me to know how to navigate when life is spinning on all cylinders. And so I'm grateful that I am a believer. I'm grateful that I belong to a community that will walk alongside me and remind me that Christ is my firm foundation, because sometimes, believe it or not, I do need a reminder. You know, we are gifted, we are talented, all of which he has placed on the inside of us. And sometimes we will find ourselves trying to navigate on our own. But I am a firm believer that when we are reminded that he is our firm foundation, and everything that we build upon knowing that he is with us and he is for us. He is a cloud by day and a fire by night. He will cover us from the crown of our head into the soles of our feet. And so that allows me to take a deep breath and then let it out. So one of the things that I wanted to share, as you just heard me say, I'm navigating three areas: my relationships, my finances, and my health. And a part of me navigating that is I'm currently dealing with two different relationships. One of them is I'm a little surprised of the distance that we've had between the two of us. However, I will be very honest. It has been a good moment of reflection for me, and I'm discovering the energy that the individual was bringing was not really helpful to all the other cylinders that were running in my life. And while I miss this individual and I love this individual and I esteem this individual, and quite honestly, they do have some level circle of influence in my life, I do believe that God is not surprised by this time, this break that me and this person is having. And so, what I've been doing is when I feel led in my heart, I will reach out to them either with a voice note or a text, and they do respond to me. And most recently, I wanted to say, hey, I'm open to a live phone conversation because we have only been texting one another or sending voice notes over the last 2 months. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned, and I'll keep you posted. The other person that I find that I'm struggling with relationally, it is very much a heartbreak. It is a disappointment. But when I look at the track record, when I look at the history of me and this person, I'm not sure why my heart is broken. I'm not really sure why I feel disappointed. I don't know why all the red flags over the many years that I have seen is still causing me to feel disappointed in this relationship. And there's a big part of me that feels like the reason why I feel so disappointed is because of the amount of time and resources that I put into this relationship. It makes me hear my pastor say, you know, you would love to be able to get your dumb money back, the money you spent knowing that it was not going to return on that investment. In fact, it actually didn't even give you any interest or compound. It actually just put you further in the hole, quite honestly, financially. And so when I think about those three areas, my health, my finances, and my relationship, this one relationship, quite honestly, has impacted even my finances and my health. And so I'm praying through that. I'm navigating this season of acknowledging my pain. I am acknowledging my disappointment, and I'm giving it to God. Now, that sounds simple enough, but the reality of it is that God knew that this relationship would exist. He knew that this relationship would disappoint me, and he knew the makeup because he's my creator. He fashioned every part of me. He knew that I would be drawn in to him in an intimate way. So it's still working for my good. You know, all things work together for the good of them who love Jesus Christ. And so that's where I am relationally. Now, when it comes to my health, I crack up a little bit about that because, you know, it is a journey. It is most certainly a journey. I have been on different programs. I'm currently drinking all of my water every single day. I have a Stanley cup and I try to drink, you know, at least 3 of those. So that's like the baseline. I'm walking every single morning. I'm getting out of bed and I'm putting my sneakers on, and I'm not fussing over my workout clothes because I just know where they're stored and I grab them. And it doesn't matter if they're matching. I just need to get to my workout. And so over the last couple of weeks, I have been walking in the morning and walking at night, so much so that when I look at my app, which I'm using Weight Watchers right now, it's saying that I'm walking between 13 and 15,000 steps a day. Let's stop for a moment. I feel like there should have been some kind of horns or hand claps going off for me. But yes, I'm walking almost 13 to 15,000 steps a day. And I am looking at my iPad, which is helping to distract me while I am doing my walk. And so that does help. Here's the challenge. I'm still not quite eating as healthy or consistently eating as healthy as I should be eating. And so when it's time for me to weigh in, which is on Sunday, I really should not be surprised by what that scale and what the number says. Honestly, a couple of weeks ago, I acknowledged, like, hey, you know what choices you made. So you need to go and you face them. Don't try to avoid and skip the week weigh in because you know that that scale is going to tell you exactly what your choices were. And so I think that was a huge win for me because I was acknowledging my choices. Now, I'm not going to go down a rabbit trail with that statement, but I think that speaks volume in general of how I am facing life, how I am looking myself in the mirror, how I am acknowledging that my choices are really just a result of, or where I am rather, let me correct that. Where I am today is a result of choices that I made over a period of time. And if anyone's been following me that's listening or watching right now, you've probably heard me say that I don't like shortcuts. I don't like quick fixes and putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. Like, I want to get to the root cause of the behavior, the choices, and I want to change them if I say that I want to reach the goals that I want to reach. So, right now, if I'm thinking I want to lose 1 pound a week, or if I want to drink more water, or when I look at my plate, I want to see more color, meaning vegetables, or during my snacks, it's not a bunch of chips, but it's actually picking up a piece of fruit. Then I have to do my part by writing down what I'm going to grocery shop for, looking how I'm going to do meal planning. I've shared before how meal prepping has helped tremendously, because when I meal prep, I reach for the thing that is more healthy than for the thing that feels like a quick fix and in the long run is not a good choice. So this morning, when I got onto the scale, it went up zero point 0.6. Well, guess what? I wasn't disappointed, because I know that 5 out of the 7 days I ate and I ate and I ate, and I enjoyed it. Yep, take it in. I enjoyed it. So I wasn't surprised. Now, what would probably be a little discouraging is if I was the weight that I started at. And so that is not the case. So I'm still very much encouraged. I'm writing down my food. I'm journaling when I eat. And if, again, if you've been listening or following me, I eat when I get excited, not necessarily when I'm sad or disappointed. I eat when I finish a task. I eat when a meeting goes well. I eat when I'm excited. So I have to be conscious of that. And I'm glad that I'm noticing those kind of behaviors, because that helps me to be better prepared for when that does happen. So now I've given you a bit of an update on my relationship. I've given you a little bit of update on my weight. This next thing that I want to share as an update feels like it ties into to my relationships as well. But more specifically, it's like engaging people that are unkind. Today, I had two different exchanges. One with someone that just spoke to me very harshly. Um, and a part of me feels like that is their makeup, but it doesn't mean that I should excuse the behavior. So I've had conversations with them and I've said, hey, I really don't like the tone in which you're communicating. But I also have made an observation that they do that to a lot of people. And so I could hear my grandmother saying, Lachey Marie, can everybody be saying the same thing about you? Or is in fact what they're saying something that you need to stop, pause, and reflect on? And I think this individual who is very abrupt, I actually found myself saying that they repulse me. And I had to look up the word, and it was exactly what I felt. They repulse me. There's a strong disdain for engaging with them, and I would prefer not to engage with them. And then all of a sudden, the compassion in my heart started to rise, and I begin to think about how I could pray for them and whatever they may be going through that's causing them to engage with people in such a harsh and just, quite honestly, just a mean way. She's not, well, yeah, she's not a very, very kind person. So, yeah. So, all right. So then the other thing that happened was I was on the highway, and I got off my exit and I said, man, driving out here in these streets is giving me some content to talk about. So I have vowed that I never want to be in a rush. I just don't want to be in a rush anymore. Like, I want to leave in enough time. If I'm going to be late, I'm just going to call and say, hey, I'm running late, but I don't want to be in a rush. But that doesn't mean that the people that are out on the road are thinking the same way that I am. So I watched this person not only cut me off, but cut two other people off, go to the far left lane, only to come back to the lane that we were in that they cut off, because for some reason they just needed to get the Wegmans, or they needed to get the Target, or they needed to get the Home Goods. I don't know, but we were all headed in the same direction. And I just thought, again, I don't know what they're going through. And I don't know why they're in a rush, But for me, I'm going to reflect and think I want to arrive to my destination safely. And I don't want to ever feel like I'm in a rush that where it may cause harm to me or the other people that are on the road. So again, not quite directly at me relationally, but it does make me think about how to engage relationally when I am out on the road. The last update that I want to give you, because this is a wellness diary that I'm sharing with you, it's not just about losing weight. It's not just about me exercising. It's not just about my romantic or family relationships, but it's also about my friendships. And so I'm very grateful that I belong to a circle of friends where we get together once a month, sometimes by Zoom, sometimes in person. And this week coming up, we're going to have a sip and chat. We're going to meet at a local Barnes and Nobles, and we're just going to catch up in person as opposed to jumping onto Zoom, of which we have been doing quite a bit because we don't live close to one another. And so I'm looking forward to that. You know, there is a saying that if you want friends, then you need to be a friend. And so this is my way of making myself available to be a friend and engaging with the ladies that say they are my friends. And so I said, hey, no pressure for showing up, but we're gonna meet up at the local Barnes and Nobles. We're gonna sit, we're gonna catch up, have, you know, a latte or iced coffee or something, you know, just a little treat together. So I'm really looking forward to that. And that's really all I have for this week. I want to encourage you that if you are listening or watching and you're looking to I don't know, just live your life differently, just take a moment and take some inventory over where you are. I would say identify one area and then break that area down into smaller bite sizes that will make it feel doable. You know, I happen to be doing a 21-day challenge, which really got me up and moving, and probably within the next month or two, this same group of women that I spend time with will probably go into a 90-day challenge. We do that about 2 or 3 times out of the year. And then in between that, we have these other small milestones that we're all reaching. But life is good. I'm excited. I'm committed to coming and bringing this update to you all. And again, if this is your first time listening or watching, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my podcast, which can be found on Apple or Spotify. And then if you're watching me on YouTube, I want you to subscribe to my channel and I want you to put your notifications on so you don't miss an update, which happens every Monday at 12 noon, as close as possible. And then if it's something that's really blessing you, why would you want to keep it to yourself? Share with a friend. All right, until we meet again.